10 decks for September 2024. Make sure you guys smash and grab out of that subscribe buttons. You guys don't miss out more awesome content. These are going to be kind of in no particular order, but we're starting off with Ritual Beast. Protos is our friend. Yeah, so Ritual Beast, scot-free? No hits? Oh, okay. Well, you're still going to lose to the same little interactions out here the Ritual Beast goes through? Yeah, that's the thing. This list did absolutely, hardly anything to this deck at all. Maybe if you were playing, some Pot of Prosperities or maybe, some of those consistency hits. No, they're checked now. I think this deck is going to be kind of scary still. Protos is a card. It does some pretty stupid things when it needs to, but I do think that you're going to want to keep a pretty major eye just on what this deck is able to kind of generate and some of the pressure that you're going to be seeing from it, because that's what we're expecting out here. Dun 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 dun. Welcome back, Voiceless Voice. I was kind of hesitant to put Voiceless Voice so high up on the pedestal out here, just because, honestly, Voiceless Voice is just kind of in that really weird situation that a lot of people are looking at this. They're like, oh, hey, this deck is extremely good. It gets to return back to the meta out here. And yes, it does get to return back to the meta. You're still going to have Saravis clogging up your hand 95% of the time. It's like my only kind of big thing. Yeah, I don't know. You can't really do Voiceless Voice shenanigans in the deck, so you didn't really miss out too much on that side of things. But okay, so now you can set up your Voiceless board, do all of this fun little stuff that you would normally be able to do, and just kind of call it a day at that. There's nothing really too much else to really say about that. Kashtira. So mid-range control lost nothing. Okay, I guess you lost Pot of Prosperity. There went your consistency outlet, but, I don't really care all that much. I think in terms of what the deck is able to still do, Kashtira, Unicorn, Fenrir are going to be controlling everything that you need to be able to do. No problem, all right? There's no real change with that. You still have access to the draw package that the deck initially was using with the, Heat Soul stuff. You're still going to be able to use Draco Sack to control options as well. I just think the mid-range control stuff, while, the top end of the meta has really kind of, shifted things in, a different direction for sure. I do think if you're not considering Kashtira a real meta threat right now, just, Unicorn ripping a key card out of your extra deck, you're probably going to just have some really bad times out here. Next up is good old Labyrinth. Labyrinth Fiendsmith was something that I was considering to be an extremely strong option out here. Times have kind of changed a little bit with this. I like the idea of what Labyrinth was trying to do, but the problem with Labyrinth as a whole is without the Beatrice axis you're trying to push for the Fiendsmith, we're kind of sent back to the darker times. Now remember, you still have the linear equation cannon builds out here. You have some people out here that don't understand how that card works, so, they won't play that build, which is fine. It's just the linear equation cannon for a board wipe is much more worth it than I think people kind of estimate. I do think the equation cannon's probably the better build out here, but for argument's sake out here, we'll wait and see what we kind of get the chance to end on here with this. And then we have Momento. I am putting Momento kind of high on this list, actually. I think Memento's end board, a lot of people are going to be kind of surprised to see what this deck can do. Remember, a big 5K is incredibly strong. You also have all of the trap cards that provide you with some sort of resource to be able to try to change the game flow away from, your opponent. And walking, talking, power down, 4 negates in a turn can be a little bit taxing on things. Also, people really don't know where to cut this deck off in its combo lines. And this deck is only going to get stronger as we head on into the next. I think that's a pretty major thing that people are also forgetting out here is, woohoo! change. It's coming. All right, you're gonna get the chance to see just how stupid Momento can truly be out here. Now we have Runic. Runic lost 2 skill drains. We still have Fountain at full power. We still have all... pure Runic is 150% okay. 2 skill drains is a little bit costly, but it's not like we don't have Tyrant's Tirade out here to be able to kind of throw at your opponent and be able to create this same scenario for you to play the game. Like, you can still do everything that you need to. Tyrant's Tirade is just going to be the tool you're going to do it with now, or, you know, you're going to play Dimensional Fissures to kind of quell down the opponent's field. It's just a little bit more work that you're going to have to go through instead of flipping the auto win, oh, I drew the skill drain, what are you going to do button. It's so strange that you're going to have to work a little bit harder for this. But I think that's fine. I think that the deck has all of the resources that it could ever actually need, and that's going to be just fine. And then we also have the White Forest package out here. I think White Forest Runic, we're separating these, by the way. The last one's pure Runic, and then we're jumping on into like the White Forest, basically other Runic variations. I think the White Forest stuff is going to get extremely good here. A lot of people are going to be excited to, you know, at least test out like the Centurion package with this too. Because remember, you have Centurion White Forest out here with the ability to toggle through the big synchros, which is actually pretty strong. And then to top things off, you know, you also have, you know, just the White Forest version. If you want to play it, it's pick your flavor of Runic variation out here. Because the deck is, as a sub package, it's fine. Nothing's changed. You can even go dust off Ice Barrier Runic if you want to try that deck out. Like, it's intact. Nothing's changed, you know. You have access to it. You may as well give it a shot. And then let's start climbing up the power pole here. We have Tempai. I think Tempai is probably going to be the scariest deck in the room next to 1 and 2. I do think the deck I have is the second one's probably not going to be as strong as I'm initially putting it, but it's the fear that the deck kind of has going around it right now that kind of leaves some of the initial responses a little bit to be desired, in my personal opinion. So Tempai still has the OTK. You hit the field spell to 1. You did nothing else to the deck. Congratulations. Once the next set comes out, this deck becomes extremely toxic. You level on up into this unimposed menace, especially when, you know, you get your next Mulch Army and you get your next level of stupidity. Like, it really does kind of get nuts what this actually becomes. So Tempai is definitely competing for that strong deck in the room. Now, Snake Eyes players were forced back to the Stone Ages back here. They have to go back to the Snake Eyes days where, you know, you look at the Snake Eyes cards and you're like, ah, yes, my precious. You know, Pobbler to 1 really, 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 really sent this deck back a lot. Now, not to say that, you know, this, like I said, we're leaving this on this list in this position because people are going to look at this and their gut feeling is, oh my gosh, it's still broken. Yes and no. I think time will tell. Once we get the Azamina cards, this deck does undergo an evolution. You got to remember, this list is 150% geared towards Rage of the Abyss. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's so much that this list tells me that they're trying to adjust with Rage of the Abyss to make the game, you know, better. And I'm okay with that, honestly. That's a pretty big shift around. And okay, we'll take it. But for now, Fire King's definitely sitting in that weird position. And then we have Yubel. Yubel and Tempai, I think, are going to be fighting hand in hand here, at least in the TCG. If the OCG taught us anything, though, the Yubel variant of this deck does kind of... I don't know, man. It doesn't quite meet the criteria of being as strong as it actually does feel. I do think it's going to be very hyped very early on, but I think a lot of the situation is going to kind of prove that, well, I guess we also do have Aerial Eater, so that's going to change some things. But, you know, watching Lacrima get banned straight off the bat, very, very interesting, to say the least. So, okay. Yubel best deck, Tempai second best, and the rest of it just kind of gravitates around that. What do you guys think? Please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.